Hello everyone, this is video 16 and for public administration paper 2, and let's continue our discussion on British legacy. So we have already discussed about the up to Council Act, Indian Council Act of 1861, and after that we will see what is Atchison Commission. So it was formatted in 1886-87 for the reform of civil services, and it recommended that there should be formation of these three particular services: imperial civil service, provincial civil service, and the subordinate civil service. So the main characteristic of these three services are that they were formulated after disbanding covenanted and uncovenanted civil services. So you can think like the imperial civil services is similar to covenanted, and provincial and subordinate are in uncovenanted civil services. And the main thing is that the provincial civil services people, they were eligible for promotion to imperial civil services. So this is the main criteria, and this was the reform that Atchison Commission recommended, and it was implemented also. So, and also you should know that seats of cabinet was put in 1861 by portfolio system. Okay, then Indian Council Act of 1892. So in this particular Council Act, consultation is started in appointments. Consultation with whom? The municipalities, the local governance structures, and how the local governance structures evolved, that we will see later. Then Indian Council Act of 1909. So in this particular Council Act, the communal representation for Muslims was given because of demand from Muslim League, as well as their support and cooperation to the government. That's why they were given communal representation. And this is a very important commission formulated by Britishers, that is Decentralization Commission of 1908. So it recommended that there should be revival and growth of panchayats, and more autonomy to local body. So more political participation was already given by Lord Ripon 1882, and now this Decentralization Commission is saying that there should be more panchayats. Then came the Government of India Act 1919. So it introduced diarchy. Diarchy means provincial subjects were divided into reserved and transferred. So the reserved subjects were governed by the governors, and he was governing them with the help of his executive council. And the executive council was having official members which were nominated. They were generally members of civil services, that is ICS. And then the transferred subjects were those which are governed by ministers, and the ministers were also nominated by the governor, but they were the members of that legislative assembly, and they were elected by the people. So this diarchy failed. Why this diarchy failed? Because first of all, there was a dual control which was totally inorganic, because you cannot rule a state by transferring some subjects and reserving some other subjects. And the main thing was that access control of the finance ministry was under the governor, and that was a reserved subject. So whenever the ministers were asking about some funds, say for example for education or health or anything, so governor already told his executive council that just veto their demands. So that's why this particular whole system diarchy failed. Then okay, then coming to the Royal Commission on Superior Civil Services. So this particular commission was established in 1920s, and it recommended establishing the Public Service Commission in 1923. So in 1926, this Public Service Imperial Public Service Commission was formulated, which is now known as Union Public Service Commission. So in this Public Service Commission, there was one chairman and 4 members, and its functions were advisory in nature, but it had this particular mandate of recruiting the employees for Indian civil services. And also government used to take advice in disciplinary matter from this Public Service Commission. Then after that came the Government of India Act 1935. So this particular act abolished diarchy at provinces, but same thing, proposed diarchy at center. So diarchy at provinces was abolished, and there were federation was also proposed, and provincial autonomy was given to the provinces. And then a division of subjects in central, state, and concurrent lists. So this is the main feature which is still continuing. We have 7 schedule in which we have the division between these 3 lists. And then diarchy introduced at center. So I already told you. So again failed because the real federalism missing. Real federalism means a written constitution, more autonomy to the federal units, and then there are many things which are missing. The Governor General used to veto so many legislations of the provinces. He was still Sarve Sarva. He was controlling all the provinces through governors. Then Supreme Court was not supreme in this particular case, because even after decision of Supreme Court, you can still go to Privy Council that was formulated in Britain. And then the third is that secretaries were more important than ministers. Whatever was the decisions, they were, whenever the Governor General used to take any decision, he used to call the secretaries rather than ministers. So they were not having that much importance. And you can think that this is very bad, because ministers are the representatives of the people. Then we will see the features of the British rule. First is Indian civil services. A lot of questions come in on this particular topic, so you should remember all these points. So merit-based civil services started by Michael Report in 1854. Before this, it was a system of privilege, and the appointments were made by board of directors based on the recommendations and their own patronage. So that was stopped after Michael Report of 1854, and open competitions started. So the competitions were held in England, and that was the main drawback, because the Indians could not participate. Anyway, they were not getting into the services before that. Then age limit was between 19 to 23 years. Initially it was 23 years, but later it was reduced to 19 years. That is the maximum age limit. Means at the age of 19 years, someone will come as a district collector in your district. So, and this particular age limit was reduced because Indians were already not able to compete, and if the age limit is reduced, so they will be totally ousted. Then what are the things which this particular test tested? So it tested proficiency in English, mathematics, Sanskrit, Arabic, moral science, philosophy, logic, and natural sciences. Right now, what our UPSC tests, it tests us on our general studies, that is general GS1, GS2, GS3, which includes all these things: history, geography, polity, economy, social science, natural disaster management, and so many things are there. Then it also tests us on moral sciences. Then it tests us on one particular subject proficiency. Earlier also they were testing it on English, mathematics, Sanskrit, and all these things. So the pattern has not changed that much. It is still similar. Then Federal PSC 1926, it is the establishment date of this Federal Public Service Commission. PSC means Public Service Commission, and it was an independent authority, and it was having the mandate to take the competitive examinations and give recommendations for the selected candidates to the government. Then the training system also started in Indian civil services only by the Britishers. And then paternalistic outlook, fatherly image, dependence, obedience among the people. So these are some of the characteristics of Indian civil services. So that's all for this video, and in next video I will tell you about Indianization of public services, which is a very important topic. So stay tuned. Thank you.